everybody, I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics! Yay! And it's another Friday of Kids Financial Literacy. We are like uber excited for our guest today because not only are you guys going to learn about our topic today is digital economy. So this is going to be a two-part series. Digital economy is part one, and then next week we're going to talk all about Bitcoins with Mr. Jorrin. But before we start, I'm going to share my screen and we'll just do some housekeeping items as usual. Here we go. There we go. So everybody, welcome to KiddieNomics. So as usual, we would like to thank all of the new kiddies that have joined us today. We had a whole bunch of new signups. I guess a lot of people want to know about what is the digital economy or the digital economy. Just try saying that 3 times fast, right, Jorrin? So welcome to KiddieNomics. And then of course, we want to thank all of the returning kiddies that are here week after week. So we are every Friday now at 5 p.m. So KiddieNomics is here. Let me go to the next one. KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8+ to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path towards a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. So that's why we host a multitude of different topics every week about something about financial literacy, so that what we want to happen is that whatever it is that you dream to be or whatever it is that you want to be, finances is not something that holds you back, right? So, housekeeping items. Please remember that every single KiddieNomics session is recorded, right?
Yep.
And then we record it and then put it on our YouTube channel. So if you've missed any of our past KiddieNomics webinars, please feel free to go to our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. You will see all of our past webinars so you can catch up at any time. And this KiddieNomics session will be posted by 8 p.m. tonight, okay? So if you do miss anything, please feel free to, don't worry, you can watch it tonight by 8 p.m., okay? Now, please remember that we cannot see or hear you, right? No, we cannot. So we cannot see or hear the kiddies. It's to maintain your privacy. So the only way for you to communicate with us and us with you is through the chat box down below, right? Chat box. Yeah. So don't forget, if you have any questions, please type your questions in the chat box or raise your hand. If you do raise your hand, please remember to also type that question in the chat box. Okay, and then we'll make sure to get through to most of the questions that are asked in the chat box. Now, a lot of the kiddies have been on here for a long time, and a lot of people are very familiar with people. Remember the KiddieNomics session that we had about online money management and keeping your information private? So it is very, very vital that we maintain a safe community here on KiddieNomics, that you never share any of your personal information, right? Never share any of your personal information. And then also in the chat box, the kiddies do talk to each other, but please try to keep it as clear as possible so that I can read whatever questions that you may have for our guest expert. Okay, so that's enough of me talking. Hi, Rinku, I see you've raised your hand, but hang on, okay? Now, let's get to our guest expert. Jorrin, Mr. Jorrin, he's an entrepreneur, but he's gonna teach us about a really very interesting topic that is going to, that is something that is gonna touch on everybody in the economy, right? So, Mr. Jorrin is a web developer by training and a technology nerd at heart. Isn't that super cute? He's also an educator who has taught web development at a technical boot camp. He has had a lifelong passion for technology and has deeply been studying the blockchain and cryptocurrency space for the past 3 years. He has seen the industry grow rapidly over this time and loves to teach people about Bitcoin so that they can be better prepared for the economy for the future. So let's give a big KiddieNomics welcome to Mr. Jorrin. Jorrin, we're gonna stop sharing our screen and let me just see 1 second before we start. I've seen a few of the kids raise their hands. Okay, never mind, they said oops. All right. No problem. All right, Mr. Jorrin, the floor is all yours. We are like waiting on pins and needles to understand what is the digital economy and how is that gonna like help us in the future.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that amazing introduction. I'm super happy to be here. I think this is an amazing platform that you're building here. It's super important for our kids to learn these things early. So I'm very happy to share a little bit of what I've been learning over the past few years and things that I wish I had known like when I was younger. So let's jump into it. I'm gonna ask a few questions throughout the presentation. Most of them will be like yes or no questions. So to like help with the typing, you can put 1 for yes and a 0 for no. But there are a couple questions where you might just need to type a little something. So the first question I want to start off with is, what do you think is valuable? What is valuable to you? Go ahead and like, type a little thing in there.
What is valuable? What's valuable to you?
Like something that like you can afford on sale, like something that you can afford that's on good price.
So something that is in your budget that's for a good price. We talk about budget a lot in our household, so you can tell. Let me see what the kids say. That's a good one, Mix. Let me see. The kids have all, Giovanni has said family and friends. They're definitely valuable, right? Family and money from Egypt. Madeline says money and her iPad. Maya says family and money. Koi, my iPad. Apple is sure important, boy. My values from Rinku. Maya is family and money. Koi, my PS4. Gail says my doll. And Elena is family and money. Awesome.
That's amazing. I love that a lot of folks have family as first. That is super, super important. But family, we're not going to spend our family. Those are invaluable. We're going to keep those like close to us. But I also saw a lot of things out there like money, and iPad and a lot of technology things. So these are also very valuable. So we're going to kind of talk about what separates things that we find valuable from what we can actually use to get other things that we want as valuable. So let's take a look. Typically, when we're talking about something that's valuable, it's basically anything that that somebody else is willing to pay for. That's what the value is, right? But when we're speaking more generally, we want to see 6 characteristics that make up something valuable. And these are all words, if you notice, that end with ity. So it's a little easy to remember. Oh, I forgot to mention, there's going to be a quiz at the end. So make sure you're taking your little notes, but a little key to remember is all of these words end with ity. And I'm going to explain what each of them mean, okay? So let's take a look at the first characteristic. It's called durability. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You don't want your money or anything that's valuable to deteriorate. So when we're talking about, coins, they can be left out in the rain and nothing's going to happen. But when I was a kid, they had paper money still, and that was very easy to like rip. Or I know a couple times I left some money in my pocket and threw it in the washing machine, and then it came out and it was all fluff. But now luckily we have, at least where we live, our paper money is made of plastic. And of course we have coins still. And something else that's very durable is gold. So gold is very valuable also because it's very durable, okay?
Oh, wait, here's a fun fact about our money. So we're in Canada, everybody, because there's a few kids that is around the world, right? So we are in Canada, so that's why our money is made of plastic. But what's a fun fact about our Canadian money? That it smells like maple syrup. It does. You can smell it.
I'm about to go grab some money right now and sniff it.
Yes, For real, Madeline, smell the money. It smells like maple
I
syrup.
was gonna say something and then you said maple syrup. Where is that coming from? You put maple syrup on your money?
Yeah, it smells like maple syrup. We're Canadian.
Okay, let me do it.
Sorry, Jordan, go ahead.
Okay, cool. So the second characteristic of money is portability. And so we want to be able to transport our money from place to place very easily. And so, of course, you know, we can have a whole briefcase stuffed with money. We can travel around with that. Paper bills are very light, and we have big bills and small bills, so we can move money around very easily. And now we also have debit cards and credit cards, which allow us to move money digitally. More on that later. Okay, we also want to have our money be divisible. So it means if we have big amounts of money, we want to easily be able to transport that. But when we get to the place where we want to spend it, we want to be able to break it up into smaller pieces so that we can spend it. And so this becomes kind of hard when we're talking about something like gold, because gold is normally in like bigger bricks, and it would be very hard to like shave off a little piece of your gold if you wanted to go to the store and maybe buy some milk and eggs, or if you wanted to go to the toy store and buy some toys. It'd be difficult to buy in a nugget of gold because they're all different. Okay, but luckily with our currency, we can break it down into at least 2 decimal places. So that means our money is divisible. Another tricky one that might be so obvious is uniformity. So we want to be able to distinguish our money very easily. So again, we live in Canada. They made it very easy for us because each one of our bills is a different color. And of course, our coins are of different sizes. So even with your eyes closed, you can be able to tell it apart. And another fun fact about our money, Canadian money has Braille on it. So those that are visually impaired, they can, without being able to see it, they can feel the bumps on there that tell them the denomination of the money. But the most important thing is that you can tell a real piece of money versus a fake piece of money. And we want, it's easy to do that when things are uniform. Okay, now we're getting to scarcity. So that one sounds like a little scary, but really all that means is limited supply. So we want to know what how much of this money is out there and how much do I have of it? And what is that ratio? What is the difference between how much I do have and how much everybody else has, or how much is existing in the world? Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell how much gold there is in the world because it's all underground. But in general, we know how much gold we dig up every year. So we can use that number to determine basically the supply versus the demand, which we're gonna talk about in a later slide. But the important thing is that we wanna know roughly what the supply is and how scarce a material is, and that helps us determine the value of it. And what would all of this value, how would it be good to us if we couldn't then go and spend it somewhere? So the last piece of the last characteristic that makes something valuable is acceptability, general acceptability. So if you go to the store with your buttons or your pocket lint and said, I would like to buy that chocolate bar, they're gonna look at you funny and be like, sorry, we don't accept buttons and pocket lint here. But if you go to them with the currency of your country, then more likely than not, they're gonna accept that. And so if it's not acceptable anywhere, then it's not really valuable. Okay, so we've talked about those 6 characteristics of something that makes something valuable. And a very, very important one. Oh, do we have a question?
Yes, we do. So Maya wants to know, how much money does Canada have? That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So that's a very tough one to answer. The truth is, it's not very easy to tell. And I'll tell you why. Because Canada, and most other countries, they have a good account of what money was printed, like the bills and the coins and all of those things. There isn't a very good accounting of the money, the digital money. So if you have like credit in the bank, and money, if your parents do online banking, you know that that's not actual physical money. It's a ledger. It's a digitized representation. So that is not very easy to account for. So the answer is who knows. It's just who knows. Okay, so I see a very huge number. That almost looks like a quadrillion in the chat. Okay, so we're going to talk about a very important piece. It's one of the characteristics, and I want to focus on that a bit because I think it's very important. Some major economists might disagree with me, but I think supply versus demand is a major driver in what makes something valuable. So remember, we were talking about, we want to know generally how much of something there is, but the counter side of that is how much people want that thing. Because if nobody wants it, then it's not going to be as valuable as if somebody wants it. So have you guys heard of supply and demand before? You can put a 1 in the chat or a 0 in the chat. 1 means yes, 0 means no. Yes, I see a couple yeses, some yeses, some more yeses. Awesome. So you guys have, oh, what? No. Okay, well, I'm going to teach you about supply and demand today. So it looks like KiddieNomics is doing a great job in teaching very fundamental concepts in economics, which is amazing. So we're going to talk about what is that for the folks that maybe don't know so much. Okay, so to kind of explain it, I'm going to use a bit of an example. So in the case where there's a low supply but a high demand, so for example, if you have a sibling or a friend and you guys both want the same toy, then that means that the demand is high but the supply is low. So in the picture, there's one toy, but there's 2 people. So there's more people than there is of the toy. That makes that toy valuable. And it creates a bit of a competition between them if they both want to get that toy, right? And so when we're talking about the economy, that competition typically is settled using money. So we don't have to fight each other. We can say, okay, well, there's multiple people that want this one thing. How much are each of those individuals willing to pay for that one thing? And typically, the person that pays the most is going to get the thing. Does that make sense? 1 for yes, 0 for no. It's kind of like bidding. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So let's look at another example. I see a 1 and a 0. So maybe this next example will help solve that for you, Giovanni. Or Giovanni, sorry. So in the flip side of that, if there's a high supply but a low demand, then the value is very low. So imagine maybe some of your rooms look like this picture here. You haven't cleaned up for a couple of weeks. But if you have all the toys and you're the only person in the room and nobody else is bugging you, then you get to enjoy all the things. There's no competition, so the value is all set by you, and you get to enjoy the full value of all of that. Does that make sense?
I got it. Yeah, they're all saying yes. Rinku's laughing because he got the joke too. Madeline says yes. So it looks like the kids are following along. That's awesome. This is a really hard topic, so I'm glad you guys are following along.
Okay, so to make it a little more graphical for you, when the supply is bigger than the demand, then the value of the supply is low. We get little money, okay? But we want to make dollars. We want to make some dollars. So when the demand is bigger than the supply, that's when we make big dollars. That's when the value of the supply is very high. Okay? Now, let's talk about the economy. It sounds kind of boring, but I'm going to hopefully try and make it a little bit more exciting for you. Okay, what makes up the economy? Anybody want to throw some guesses down? Like, what kind of things make up the economy? The people, of course. Yes, the people. Suli.
The company?
Yeah, companies. They're a very important part of the economy. Money, of course. Yes, we need money to move around. These are all very taxes. Oh, you guys are definitely economists. You know already.
Right?
Yes.
Thomas says exports, imports, which is good. Hold on. There's a lot. Industry, trading from Rinku, even non-living things from Madeline.
Yeah.
Koi wants to know, what if it's high supply and high demand? What happens then? And then Thomas says gross domestic. Thomas, you're super smart. Gross domestic market. Renata says games. And Thomas also says industries, money, taxes, Gabriel. And that's it. And yeah, that's it.
That's amazing. Okay, I want to answer that what if a high supply and high demand. So it's not necessarily like when we say high and low, we mean in relation to each other. So if they're about the same size, then that's a pretty stable situation where it's not going to create the value to increase or decrease, but the value is going to roughly stay the same. So if we take a snapshot, so to speak, and those two circles, maybe I'll go back a slide here. Oops. Oh yeah. So when we see these two circles, the demand, this is just a snapshot. So the demand in this snapshot is bigger than the supply, and therefore the value, you could say, instead of just saying it's big value, you could say it's increasing. So that's when, if you see a chart, it's going up, that is the demand being bigger than the supply. And if at any point in time the supply increases, then the graph would start to go down, and then the money would start to go down. So if they're about the same size, then the value would move along at the same rate. Exactly, kind of like stocks.
Good job, Madeline.
Okay, so let's jump back into the
Madeline says she kind of likes stocks, which is good, Madeline. We're gonna do a lot of stocks come January again. So
January.
Yeah, in the new year.
Okay, so I saw some amazing answers here. The money, people, exports, imports. You guys are talking about taxes. You guys are definitely brilliant economists, and those are all part of the economy. I tried to simplify it a little bit here in this graph, but it is much bigger than can be shown here. But generally speaking, we can start with an individual. Each of us, maybe our mom and our dad, they go out and typically they get a job, and that gets them some money. And then when they take that money and then maybe they buy a house, or they pay rent and get a place to live, or then maybe they invest in some in the stock market or in some other kind of vehicle, which I know you guys have been learning about. Or maybe they go out and buy you some toys, which I'm sure you love. Things like that. That goes to a company, and then that person or that company then hires some people for a job. And then that's how the cycle continues. So it's a huge holistic cycle that, you spend money, goes to a company, and that company needs to pay people who have a job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Ones for yes, zeros for no. Any questions there? We got ones. Awesome. Cool.
Let me see.
Okay.
I think I saw a question there. It's the circle of money, kind of like the circle of life.
That's what I was thinking after when we were going to say that.
Oh, yeah? Good job, Madeline. Good job, Hicks. Yay, good job. I can't, you guys are really getting this. This is awesome.
Okay, so that might seem super big, and you might be thinking that you are too small to participate in this. But let's take a look at some economies that you are probably a part of right now. Exactly, you already see the logo. Roblox, Minecraft. Who plays Roblox or Minecraft? Let me get some ones in the chat.
Oh, all the kids love Minecraft and Minecraft and Roblox. They all love it.
Lots of ones. I had a sneaky suspicion that you guys would understand what I'm talking about when I got here. Okay, these are examples of digital economies. All right, so you guys already know very key principles because there's tons of different currencies in these games. You know, you got all kinds of gold and minerals and you know, wearables, skins, all these different things that you have to perform certain actions in order to get. So you might call that a job. You might need to go out and, you know, complete a quest to get the materials to make something, or you might need to tune into a certain event in order to, you know, get that skin you want. These are correlations. These are, you know, ways to compare real world economies and digital economies. So you guys are already participating in economies, whether you knew before or you didn't. I was talking to my niece earlier about like, what do you want? What's the most valuable thing? And she's like, I want a mega neon frost dragon. Does anybody have one of those? You don't know what I'm talking about?
What game is that one? Is that Roblox or Minecraft?
The one with the dragon is Adopt Me.
Is Adopt Me? Yes, somebody said that they want Adopt Me. I think I'm saying I want Adopt Me. I don't know what any of these things are. So the neon dragon, is that from Roblox?
No,
is that from Roblox?
Roblox Adopt Me.
No.
Yeah.
They're all saying that they love it.
Yes. Okay, so you might also be saying, well, you know, there's Robux will get you things in the Roblox game, but Robux isn't real money. And that's fairly true. I mean, it isn't real money. You're not going to go to the store and say, hey, can I have that chocolate bar? Here's my Robux. They're going to be like, we don't accept Robux here. But things are changing. All right. And that's where we get to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very similar to these digital resources, but it has some key characteristics that are very different. Okay. And that's where we're heading. We're going to talk about how Bitcoin's supply is limited and how it can be mined similarly to gold, or like having a job and going out and producing a product in order to get a resource and then to spend it. And then, like you guys were saying, the cycle continues. We're going to see how we are able to spend it and buy things or send it around the world. And we're going to also take a look at how it compares to other currencies. And we're going to put it up against those 6 characteristics. And I hope you guys remember, because we're about to jump into the quiz time, and we're gonna check out what you guys can remember. It's gonna be a little challenging, but I think you guys can do it. Okay.
Madeline says, no, not another quiz. You guys love quizzes and games. I had a quiz in school, she says, but this is a fun quiz.
We had a division test yesterday.
You had a division. Well, this is a fun quiz, right? Right.
Yeah, I think it's super valuable because, you know, we as we saw, we live and breathe in economies, whether they're in the real world or in the digital space, and it benefits us to know these principles so that we can be more well-informed and make smarter decisions. So this quiz, only a few questions long, but I think you guys can do it. And yeah, I think you'll be better off because of it. So let's take a look at the first question. Which one of these is not a characteristic of value that I just described earlier? So we have durability, portability, shininess, and scarcity.
Which one is it?
Shininess.
Mickey says shininess. Let's see what the kids say. Coy, shininess. Elias, shininess. Thomas, shininess. Giovanni, shininess thingy. Jalen, shininess. Rinku, shininess. They all say Egypt, shininess. Joel, shininess. I think they all got, Adonis says durability. And Madeline says shininess. Good job. Well, what is it? What's the answer?
It's definitely shininess.
Yay!
So many of you got it right. But remember, the 6 characteristics, they all end in ity. They all end in itty. So the only one here that the hint, the clue was, the only one here that didn't end in itty was shininess. So have that be a little clue for you to remember moving forward, folks. Okay, so shininess was the answer. Next question. If the supply is high and the demand is low, the value is it high or is it low?
Hi.
Okay, let's see.
Hi.
Mickey says hi. Rinku says hi. Madeline says hi. Jalen says hi.
Hey.
Zadea says hi. Hi, Zadea. Hi, Zakoya. Giovanni says, wait, ooh, it's going so fast. You guys you're so fast. Janaya says hi. Adonis says hi. Rinku says low. Egypt says low. Rinku says low. Koi low. Joel hi. Medium to high says Madeline. Gabriel says low. Has to be low, right? From Koi. Adonis is in the middle. He says the middle.
Okay, so I see this is a split crowd. I don't know which one has more. So let's take a look at high. So if the supply is bigger than the demand, then the value is
Low.
low. So oops.
What did you say?
Hi.
Oh, she got it wrong. Yay, Giovanni's like, I said low.
I got mixed up here. One sec, guys.
All right. I said low. Yep. Some people said low. Some people said high.
Okay. Yeah. So if the supply is high and the demand is low, that makes the value low because there's not so many. There's lots of toys and not as many kids. So all the kids can have a toy, and there'll still be toys left over. So if hopefully that helps clarify things for you, right? If there's lots of kids and only one toy, then that toy is very valuable, and then everybody wants that toy, so it creates a competition. Okay. Right. Last question should be super obvious. Do you have an important role to play in the economy?
Do you have an important role to play in the economy?
Yes.
Yes. Mickey says yes. Let's see what the kids say. What do you guys say? Yes. Jalen says yes. Thomas says yes. Giovanni says, I think so. Joel says yes. Koi says yes, sir. Adonis, yes. Egypt, yes. Niobe, yes. Hi, Niobe. Adonis, yes, yes. Madeline, yes. Zakoya or Zadea says yes. Good job.
Amazing. You guys are obviously absolutely right. I think you guys are already on the right path. You're clearly on the path to being great economists in your personal lives, and I think this is an amazing channel that you got here. So yes, of course, you guys are a huge part of the economy, a part of the digital economy, and a part of the greater physical economy that is surrounding it. So I'm super excited to teach you guys in the next workshop. What we're going to talk about is Bitcoin and how that is a huge part of the growing digital economy. So I want to thank you guys very much for your attention and your participation in the chat. And I'd like to take any questions if you have any, because I know this could be some tricky stuff.
Let's see. Does any of the kids have any questions? Do you have any questions? I have a question. Has anybody ever heard of Bitcoins?
No.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever heard of Bitcoins? Have you ever heard of Bitcoins?
We're learning it right now.
Yeah, we're learning. So, but we still didn't get into what it is. Let's see. Some of the kids say no. Madeline says no. Thomas says yes. Koi says yes. You guys have? That's awesome.
No.
Elias says yeah, yes. Adonis, yes. Egypt says, I think I have. Good job. Only one more time. Let me see. So we're split. Half of the kids are like, yes, I've heard of Bitcoins, and half of them haven't. But that's amazing that they've heard of Bitcoins at such a young age, right?
I think that a lot more kids have heard of it than their parents. I think that it's only going to become more and more prevalent. I think the kids are going to use it more so than their parents are willing to adopt it now. I think it's just going to be a part of their lives growing up, especially the kids that are born today. They're coming into a very, very different world than, you know, myself and probably some of the other parents grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
It will be. Well, we're super excited to learn about Bitcoins for next week. So, but this was an awesome session. We learned all about supply versus demand and what money is, right? And then you also learned that if you smell our Canadian money, it smells like maple syrup. So a lot of you guys learned that today too.
You need to go get your money so I can smell. I've never smelled
Yes, all the kids are saying thank you. Rinku says thank you. Egypt says thank you. They say thank you. All right, hang on everybody. Let's do a wrap up. Jorrin, that was amazing. Thank you so much. We look forward to next week because I learned. Did you learn?
Yeah.
Yep. So hang on. Do you want to stop sharing your screen and then I will share mine and we'll do a wrap up. There we go. Awesome. Okay. All right. There we go. 1 second. Okay. And let me just make sure that I can still see the chat. Sometimes I can't see it and now it's in my way. So how do I get it out of the way now? There we go. All right. So last question that we always ask for every KiddieNomics session, what would happen if kids became more financially literate? And what is our answer?
Real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. And why do we feel this way? Well, because listen, the more financially literate that you are, the better decisions that you can make because they'll be more educated and you can make better choices and decisions that will positively affect your life as you get older. And with that, finances may not be something that will hold you back. So maybe, you know, if you need to go to school and you want to cure cancer, or you're going to solve, you know, our ozone and figure out, like, help us with the environment or whatever it is. We want to make sure that finances is just not something that's going to hold you back with whatever your dream is that you want to be, right? So that's why we think it's going to be real change that impacts the world, right? All right. Upcoming schedule for the following weeks. So Mr. Jorrin will be back for next week and we're going to talk about Bitcoins for kids. So we're really going to get into Bitcoins and what it does. And now that I know that some of you even know what Bitcoins are, I think that's amazing. The following week, we're going to have Miss Alliston on, and that's going to be Friday, October 30th. And we're going to talk about sole proprietorship for kids. So we have been talking about entrepreneurship and starting your businesses, right? And giving you information on how to really start your business and start making money. And so there's different levels of businesses, and sole proprietorship is the first level, really. And so we're going to talk about that on Friday, October 30th. And it's also her birthday. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun KiddieNomics session. And then, so guess what? The month of November is Financial Literacy Month. So we're going to celebrate Financial Literacy Month. We're going to have fun prizes and giveaways for all of November for our sessions. And then our first topic that we're going to talk about, because we want to help give you guys ideas on how you can start making money. Jalen, I see you raised your hand. Can you type your message in the chat box? Hold on. Let me find the chat. Okay. Sometimes I miss your messages. Okay. All right. You guys are not saying much. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So one of the things that you guys can do as a child to start making money is to write a book. So there has been a few kids and parents that have requested, how do you write a book? And then if you write a book, you can sell it. So a couple of kids like to draw comics and wanted to do a comic book. And then a couple of other kids like to write stories. So turning your stories into actual books and that's how you can start making money. So we wrote a book called I Will Own a Castle. I should have brought it today, but I didn't. But we're going to talk about that on starting in November. So Friday, November 6th will be Jackie Brown. We're going to start with book writing for kids. And then on Friday, November 13th, hold on, we're going to talk about publishing. So once you write the book, how to get it published and how do you start generating money from it. Go ahead, Mickey.
When I was younger, I always used to like write books because I will always like to read them. I like to read them to my mom.
Yeah.
So I like to read them, like write them. So I first do the drawings, and then after I'll write simple words, and I'll get frustrated when my mom corrects me with the words because I don't want her to help me because I want to do it myself.
Yes, right? Because a lot of kids are creative and you guys like to write stories. So let's turn those stories into actual books, right? Let's get those stories published. And then the following week after that, we're going to talk about with Miss April Mullins. She'll be back on KiddieNomics. We're going to talk about your first paycheck. So if you start working, and what does your first paycheck look like, right? It was always a shock to me when I had my first job and I got my first paycheck, and I was like, where is my money? Right? So we're going to talk about first paychecks for kids, and then wrapping up November, we're going to talk about financial planning, which is the last week of November. I don't have it on here because I didn't have any more space, but the last week of August, we're going to talk about financial planning for kids. So, and that's going to be with Mr. Michael Blackburn. So we have the month of November already planned out. We will have some prizes and giveaways for our sessions coming up in November. So it should be a fun time to celebrate Financial Literacy Month. It's a really important month and we want to celebrate it with you guys. All right, so I'm going to wrap up by saying we always love to hear from you. Give me ideas about what you want to see and talk about here on KiddieNomics. Our goal is to help create tiny financial literacy ambassadors around the globe so that you can not only just help yourself, but help your family and your community become more financially literate. Because you know what? As kids, you guys help keep your parents accountable, and you help keep other friends and other family members accountable for what they do. So you're going to be able to say, no, that's not how you do a budget, or no, this is how you build a business plan, or whatever it is, right? And then, of course, you can always contact me send me an email on kiddienomics101@gmail.com. Or you can please like and follow us on
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Oh my gosh, our TikTok channel. Jordan, we've had a TikTok channel for like months now. We've yet to post a video because Mickey is supposed to do a video.
I'm trying to look for sound, okay?
Okay. But she can do her personal videos. Like her TikTok account has like over 300 followers. KiddieNomics has no videos yet. Yeah. I'm leaving this with Mickey. Like she needs to do a video.
Do dances, you can't even
I will do the dances. You have to do the video. All right. Anyways, Koi says, I'm just checking your notes. Koi says, I'm gonna be a millionaire, and that's what we want, right? That's what we want. Nope, you'll have to win a prize, Joel. So if you answer the questions and you're here, then you will be able to win a prize.
Will I be able to win a prize if I answer a question?
Yeah, I guess so. You can win a prize if you answer the question right. Oh, Koi says I have 3,000 followers. That's awesome. Tell us, can we vote? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about. Anyways, that's about it. Mr. Jorrin, thank you very much for joining us on KiddieNomics today. Thank you all the kiddies for joining us today on KiddieNomics. We'll see you guys next week, Friday at 5 p.m. Everybody have a great weekend, and bye!